I'm Jasril from the Customer Success Team at Consultare Inc. Group. Today, we will focus on understanding the structure and key requirements of 21 CFR Part 117, which form the foundation of FDA's food safety regulations for human food. This includes compliance with current good manufacturing practices or CGMP under Subpart B and the implementation of hazard analysis and risk-based preventive controls or HARP-C under Subparts C and G. These requirements are designed to ensure that food is manufactured, processed, packed, and held under sanitary conditions, minimizing risk of contamination and ensuring consumer safety. By the end of this training series, you'll have a clearer understanding of how to apply these requirements in your facility, strengthen your food safety programs, and maintain audit readiness. Before we proceed, let me briefly introduce Consultare Inc. Group. Founded in 2007, we began by assisting businesses with U.S. import and export compliance and have since evolved into a global provider of food safety, quality, and certification support. Today, our services revolve around compliance management software, specialized training, and end-to-end support services that help organizations achieve and maintain compliance with international standards. Through our platform interlinkiq.com, we offer an integrated compliance management system that streamlines documentation, monitoring, and audit readiness. We also provide dedicated compliance and certification support programs for FSVP, PCQI, SQF, PRCGS, FSSC 22000, ISO 9001, GMP, and HACCP, helping businesses strengthen their regulatory compliance, enhance operational efficiency, and ensure alignment with global food safety and quality management standards. This week, we will begin our training series on 21 CFR 117, Subpart B, or Current Good Manufacturing Practice, focusing on the requirements under the Personal Welfare Program. Throughout the coming weeks, we will continue exploring other essential components of CGMP, with each session designed to help you understand, implement, and maintain FDA regulatory requirements within your facility. Under the Personal section, we will cover the personal welfare and hygiene program, followed by upcoming sessions on clothing and personal effects, premises and building maintenance, and lighting, ventilation, and pest control to ensure a safe and compliant food production environment. Each session in this series is structured to build your practical understanding of CGMP requirements and promote continuous compliance and audit readiness. In today's session, we will focus on familiarizing ourselves with 21 CFR 117, Subpart B, 117.10 Personnel Welfare Program. We'll start with a clear description of the requirements, followed by a walkthrough of the compliance action activities, which are scheduled tasks carried out on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and semi-annual basis to ensure ongoing certification readiness. We will also discuss the importance of the annual review and internal audit activities, which serve as checkpoints to verify the effectiveness of the program and maintain continuous improvement. After this section, we will open the floor for a Q&A session, giving you the opportunity to clarify any requirements and ask questions related to implementation. If you have questions as we go through the presentation, feel free to type them in the chat box, and we will make sure to address them during the discussion afterward. As part of this training, participants will receive free 90-day access to the CGMP compliance management software, a tool designed to streamline compliance activities, track corrective actions, and maintain audit-ready documentation. Finally, upon completion of this training, each participant will receive a familiarization training certificate. To ensure you receive your certificate, please make sure that your full name, phone number, and email address are submitted to hello@consultareinc.com or fill up the sign-up form provided on the chat box. On the screen, you will see a sample of the familiarization certificate that you will receive upon completing each session. With that, let's move forward to our training session where we will be working directly with the 21 CFR 117 CGMP compliance management software. So let's start by going over the description of the Personnel Welfare Program. Please take a look at the description and the screen. The summary of the requirements are outlined below to make implementation easier. For disease control, it states that employees with illnesses, open lesions, boils, sores, infected wounds, or other sources of microbial contamination must be excluded from food handling operations until resolved. Open lesions or wounds may be covered adequately, like impermeable covers if necessary. Employees must report health conditions that could contaminate food to their supervisors. For personal cleanliness and hygiene, all personnel in contact with food, food contact surfaces, or packaging must maintain hygiene practices to prevent food contamination and allergen cross contact. Key measures include first, appropriate outer garments to protect food from contamination, personal cleanliness, including regular bathing and grooming, hand washing before starting work, after leaving the workstation, and whenever hands are soiled, sanitize if needed. Jewelry control. Remove unsecure jewelry or cover items that cannot be removed to prevent contamination. For the gloves, keep gloves clean, intact, and sanitary if used. Hair restraints. Use hair nets, caps, beard covers, or other effective restraints. For personal belongings, store clothing and personal items away from food handling or cleaning areas. For restricted activities, this includes eating, drinking, chewing gum, or using tobacco must be done away from food handling areas. And for other precautions, protect food from contamination by perspiration, hair, cosmetics, chemicals, medicines, and other foreign substances. So to implement this program, we've developed a list of action items in the compliance tab. This feature helps the QA managers or supervisors stay organized by scheduling tasks based on the required frequency, whether they are done daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or semi annually. So you can choose to add your own compliance activities or have our team preload the required tasks to ensure that you meet all the necessary requirements under this specific section. So here are some examples of your compliance action items to comply with 21 CFR 117 requirements on personal welfare program. First, you need to inspect employee hygiene practices to ensure compliance with hand washing, grooming, and protective clothing requirements before entering production area. Check all hand washing stations to confirm availability of soap, running water, and sanitary drying materials. Monitor and record any illness reports to ensure symptomatic employees are excluded from food handling activities. Conduct hygiene and GMP spot checks to verify employees consistently follow personnel policies. Also, part of your weekly activity is inspecting the locker rooms and changing areas to maintain cleanliness, orderliness, and proper storage of personal effects. Review PPE inventory and replace or replenish gloves, hair restraints, and protective garments as needed. For your monthly activities, this includes holding refresher talks or toolbox meetings to reinforce hygiene and personnel policies, review personnel training records to confirm all employees have completed required hygiene and GMP training, and evaluate personnel compliance logs and identify corrective actions for improvement. For your quarterly action items, it includes performing a personal hygiene internal audit to assess compliance with 117.10 requirements, analyze illness and contamination reports to determine the effectiveness of preventive measures, and update personal hygiene and illness control policies based on audit findings or regulatory changes. For the biannual or semi-annual action items, this includes conducting comprehensive refresher training for all food handlers and supervisors on hygiene and contamination prevention, assessing employee competency and understanding of hygiene procedures through evaluations or on-the-job observations, and verifying the adequacy and functionality of hygiene facilities and equipment supporting compliance requirements. So to complete these actions, let's check the provided work instructions and the detailed compliance activities in the instruction section, along with the required artifacts or records to document completion. So for example, for the action item that states that check all hand washing stations to confirm availability of soap, running water, and sanitary drying materials. To complete this, let's follow the instructions here in this section. Please bear with me while the system is loading. Let me reload this one here. So we're on the compliance tab and we're trying to discuss on how to perform this specific action item. Check all head washing stations to confirm availability of soap, running water, and sanitary drying materials. So to complete this activity, we need to follow this procedure. Step one is preparation. So we need to obtain, or you need to obtain, the hand washing station inspection record form and gather the necessary tools like checklist, your pen, or tags for out of service notices if necessary. And then for your step two, you need to conduct the physical inspection, the actual inspection. So you need to inspect each hand washing station and verify the following. First, for your running water, you need to confirm that both hot and cold running water are available and at adequate pressure. Ensure that faucets function correctly and provide continuous flow, and that water temperature should be comfortable for hand washing, ideally between 38 to 43 degrees Celsius or 100 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. For your soap availability, you need to check that liquid hand soap dispensers are filled and operational. Verify that only approved antibacterial or food grade soaps are used, and replaced or refill dispensers as needed. For your sanitary drying materials, you need to confirm availability of disposable paper towels or functioning air dryers. Ensure that paper towels are protected from contamination and dispenser units are clean and stocked. And verify presence of covered waste bins for towel disposal. For cleanliness and accessibility, you need to check that sinks, faucets, and surrounding areas are clean and free from debris or buildup. And confirm station area is unobstructed and easily accessible to employees. For the step three, it involves record keeping and corrective action. So you need to record inspection results on the hand washing station inspection record. And for any deficiencies like the absence of soap, water pressure issue, or missing paper towels, so you need to record those. Also, you need to mark the station out of service if necessary, notify maintenance for immediate repair or replenishment, and document corrective actions and date or time completed. The records and artifacts that you need to complete are the following. First is the hand washing station inspection record. So it includes key details such as the date and shift, the station location, inspector's name and signature, the checklist items like running water, soap, drying materials, cleanliness and accessibility, as well as the observations or non-conformances and corrective actions and verification signature. So when you've done performing this specific activity and completed the supporting records, Your compliance status can be updated from no to yes once approved by the reviewer and approver. So let's take a look at one uploaded document here to support compliance to this specific requirement. So this is your hand washing station inspection record. This record or artifact captures the inspection results for each hand washing station from gowning room down to restrooms. So it confirms the availability of your soap, water, and drying materials, as well as overall cleanliness, the corrective actions taken, and verification by the QA personnel. So your goal is to perform all the compliance activities according to their scheduled frequency to ensure that your facility, processes, and documentation remain fully audit ready. Once again, these are simply examples of compliance best practices that you can adapt in your facility. You may also customize or develop your own action items tailored to your specific processes. Next, let's go over to the annual review tab, which also serves as your gap assessment tool. So this tab is designed as an internal audit checklist in the form of questionnaires aligned with 21 CFR 117 requirement on personnel welfare program. It lists all required annual review items to help you maintain compliance with the specific certification requirements. So here you'll find all the annual review items that should be reviewed to maintain compliance. For example, the questions here include: are all employees who handle food trained and knowledgeable in personal hygiene and food safety practices? Are there documented procedures outlining hygiene, hand washing, and illness reporting requirements for personnel? Are employees consistently following hand washing and hygiene procedures before entering food handling areas? Are employees free from communicable diseases and symptoms that could result in food contamination? Are protective clothing, gloves, and hair restraints provided, used correctly, and maintained in a sanitary condition? Are personal effects such as jewelry or loose accessories controlled to prevent contamination risk? Are sufficient hand washing stations available, accessible, and supplied with soap, warm water, and sanitary drying materials? Are changing rooms, restrooms, and hand washing facilities maintained in a clean and sanitary condition? Is there an effective procedure in place for reporting and managing employee illnesses or open wounds? Are personal hygiene policies and records reviewed and updated annually to reflect current regulatory requirements? Is adequate working space maintained between equipment and walls to support cleaning and safe operations? And are all personnel training and competency records complete, up to date, and easily retrievable or for audits? So just like in the compliance tab, you can also add your annual review here, and you can also add the work instruction or compliance activities to comply with the requirements and specify the specific artifacts or forms or records that will serve as evidence of compliance. So let's take an example on how to comply with a specific um, assessment or annual review item. For the question, are employees free from communicable diseases and symptoms that could result in food contamination? So let's take a look at the instruction on how to comply with this one. So for the work instruction for health and illness control, it includes reviewing the employee health declarations and illness reporting lags for the review period. Also, part of the work instruction is verifying that sick employees were reported and excluded from handling food in accordance with company policy, and confirm that re-entry medical clearance is documented. So the artifacts or forms needed to um, support compliance to this specific annual review item are employee health declaration form, illness reporting lag, employee exclusion record, and medical clearance certificate if applicable. So let's check how to comply with this specific requirement through the uploading of an evidence to support compliance. So in this case, an illness reporting lag is checked and verified. So this document reflects each employee health status. So you have here the employee name, their respective department, their health status or fitness for work, if there are any symptoms reported, clearance, their signature, and the date. It also contains the declaration, such as all employees listed above confirm that they are free from fever, vomiting, diarrhea, sore throat with fever or jaundice, open or infected wounds, or diagnosed communicable diseases transmissible through food like hepatitis A, norovirus, salmonella, E. coli, or Shigella. So once uploaded, this becomes part of your record, and this is a proof of your compliance to this specific annual review item. So your goal is to complete these annual review items to keep your site fully prepared for both internal and external audits in compliance to 21 CFR 117. So finishing this checklist confirms your compliance and ensures that you are audit ready at all times.